We are back at it again with another dewy, luminous drugstore primer battle. I did a video comparing these two last time, and we're going to be putting the Wet n Wild one to the test again today, but with a different primer, which I think is a little more similar than these two are. So if you haven't seen the video with these two, and if you have, oh, I almost dropped it. So if you haven't seen the video with these two, I recommend checking that out. You guys seem to really like videos with Wet n Wild products, so I've done a review on this on its own. I did the drugstore primer battle with these two. I did half on my face, half on my other side of my face, which we're doing today with the L'Oreal. It's L'Oreal again, which is kind of funny. I didn't expect to be doing another L'Oreal primer, but today we are comparing the Wet n Wild Dewy Primer with the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer. Before we dive into the video, I just wanted to remind you to please turn on your notifications, that little bell down below, so that you don't miss any of my videos. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And let's talk about some face primers. I had the hardest time finding this guy because I was looking for something bigger. When I kept going to the store, I'm looking for it because one of you wanted me specifically to compare these two, and I just could not find it. And then finally I look on the bottom, way bottom, and I see this little skinny thing, and I found it. So finally we're trying it today. I have the Wet n Wild primer on the left side of my face and the L'Oreal primer on the right side. So before I show you my application of the two, you're going to see before I put my foundation on what the primers look like, and then you're gonna see what my whole face, I mean, you can see what my whole face looks like right now, but you can see it more up close after I put the rest of my makeup on. So off the bat, I have talked about this primer quite a few times by now, but I will quickly run through some of the information about it. It's part of their Photo Focus line Dewy Face Primer. It doesn't come with a full fluid ounce, but it comes with 0.84, so very close to a full fluid ounce, and it's under $5. Under $5. On the Walmart website, it says that this primer is infused with pearl pigments to add dimension for that glow from within look, which I agree with. This is a very luminous primer. It's supposed to be a lightweight formula. I agree with that as well. I've worn it so many times. Smooth skin for even makeup application. I don't think this really smooths out my pores, but it does give a nice base for your foundation to go across. So if you have really nice skin, you don't have a lot of big pores or fine lines, then this is going to be great over your perfect skin. It does work well on my skin, but it's not meant to be a filling primer. One of the greatest things about this is it is cruelty-free, fragrance-free, so great for sensitive skin. So Wet n Wild is in general cheaper than L'Oreal, and that's the same case with this little primer right here. This is not as many fluid ounces. It is 0.68 fluid ounces. This is supposed to be a light infusion primer, an instant illumination, enlightened complexion, which I thought was a weird word for them to choose. Enlighten your complexion with a light infusing primer. They say you can wear this under makeup or mixed with your foundation to give more of a glow. So if you have a more mattifying foundation, you can mix this in and supposedly it'll make it more of a glowy finish. They say that you can use this as a highlighter on your face as well, and I would probably agree with that. It wouldn't be as crazy bold, but I could say the same thing about the Wet n Wild primer depending on your skin tone, which I will get into. The L'Oreal primer is supposed to be good for all skin types, and it is pretty lightweight, so I could see where they're coming from that. On Walmart, it says it is a unique liquid light formula that blends seamlessly into skin to boost its liveliness and luminosity. The L'Oreal primer is $10.97, so it is a lot more expensive than the Wet n Wild primer. So let's jump into my application. I will give you some of my thoughts between the two. The Wet n Wild one is very luminous. It's got more of a champagne tint to it. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't really fill in pores or anything like that. It just does give a nice luminous base for under your makeup. And I found that with the Wet n Wild primer, I did have to use more product than I did with the L'Oreal primer, which you will see. So with the L'Oreal primer, a little bit went a long way. I did about 2 pumps, which actually was too much for just the right side of my face. So I think that would be a perfect amount if you are doing your whole face. The scent sort of threw me off, which you may see. I'm still not really sure what the smell is. It's not anything too strong. I don't think it would bother you. I don't smell it anymore now that I have my makeup on, and after I applied it, I didn't smell it at all. But the consistency of both of these is very, very similar. And the way they make your skin glow looks almost identical except for the colors. You can tell on my skin tone, because I am so fair, that the Wet n Wild primer looks a little bit darker on the side that I applied that, where this one from L'Oreal is more of a white pearlescent tone. I don't think it made me look pale by any means, but you can tell the difference between the two. However, I think both sides looked so similar. I don't think that this L'Oreal one really smoothed out any lines or filled in any pores. They don't claim that, so I wasn't really expecting it with either of these. If I had to pick one or the other, for me personally, I liked the Lumi primer more. And the reason I say that is because I didn't need to use as much product to smooth out onto my face. I had to keep going in with the Wet n Wild product. And this is before the wear test. We are going to do a wear test, so my opinions may change by the end of the day. But my initial thoughts is that I prefer the L'Oreal. I used the same foundation that I used in my last Dewy Drugstore Primer Battle, so that if you wanted to get a comparison with the Glow Lock, Infallible Glow Lock from L'Oreal as well, you could tell between the two videos that I'm wearing the same foundation. I wanted to judge these two in my normal day-to-day how I would do my makeup and how they hold up. You guys can obviously make your own decisions when it comes to purchasing these products, which one you prefer. It's going to depend on your skin as well, but first impressions, I'm liking this one a little bit more. Not so much more that I think it's not worth getting this one, because this one is so much cheaper. It's like half the price to pick up this one. You could get 2 of these for the price of one of these, pretty much. I will leave it at that. I'm going to film another video. I have to go into work this afternoon for a little while as well, so I will be back later in the day to show you how my makeup held up. I don't know if these are really going to extend wear time. I'm not sure either one of them really claim that. I'm looking at my notes. But either way, my complexion is looking really healthy and dewy, even though I am feeling a little dry. When I look up close, I can see a little bit of the dry spots, but from far away, it's looking pretty fabulous. I found all of these at Walmart. I'm sure some of them are available on Amazon as well. I will put links down below, and I will see you guys in a few hours. I'm really excited to see how this looks. I am back. I am tired. I'm ready to take my makeup off, but I wanted to show you what the two different sides look like. So Wet n Wild on this side and L'Oreal on this side. So I grabbed my mirror so I can see what we're looking at, and honestly, both sides are looking pretty similar to each other. I've had my makeup on for about 8 hours now, and maybe a little longer than that. I can see that my foundation and my highlight have kind of settled into my lines on this side with the Wet n Wild, where on this side, it hasn't as much. You guys can make the judgment. So here's Wet n Wild, and here is L'Oreal. I think the glow is still showing through the foundation, which is really nice. It honestly hasn't worn off as much as I was expecting it to. It is kind of worn off on my chin, but that's pretty typical. I was outside for part of my time at work, so it was a little windy. It wasn't rainy just yet. I think it is going to rain tonight, but no rain to disrupt the makeup at all. Not bad. I think both of these are great for adding a luminous touch to your skin if you want more of a glow from within but underneath your foundation. You can mix these with your foundations as well. I just find that I use dewy foundations anyway, so it'd be kind of silly for me to add in these products. I just like using them underneath. Basically what I'm getting to. If you guys like these types of videos, I have so much fun doing these like battle of videos. So if there's other things you want to see besides primers, let me know, because this is a great idea. I love testing two different things on different sides of my face to see how they compare. If you have any specific products you want to see, let me know. I picked this up because one of you wanted to see a comparison of these two, and I'm really happy you asked for it because they are so similar to each other. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm happy because I'm home now. So thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts, suggestions, recommendations. You guys are amazing, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.